everyone, I'm the Rev. Now I've not done a room tour video in probably over 12 months and a lot has changed since the last video, so I thought it was about time that we got it updated. Now you know what I'm like on this channel, no messing about, let's get on with it. Now everything you're about to see in this video has been purchased with money from my 9-to-5 job. There's no sponsorship deals, I don't have to plug anyone. I'm a consumer of these products just like you, unless stated. In fact, there's only one item that I've been sent since I started this YouTube journey. And I think it's only fitting we start with the PC. I'll put the specs up on screen, it's a beefy machine. It's running a 9800X3D, an RTX 5090, tons of storage and tons of RAM, thankfully, considering how RAM prices have gone in the last couple of months. So the PC, built by myself. I've been building PCs since I was 12 years old, love building a PC. Luckily though, as I say, with the way prices are, we're not going to have to upgrade this PC for quite some time. Now the PC is attached to two screens, the first of those screens being the LG OLED 42-inch. Absolutely brilliant screen, I love an OLED. Got my first OLED in 2017, that was for the downstairs TV. Never looked back. I love the colours, I love the blacks, I love these features. I love as a gaming TV, I think it's brilliant. I run the TV at 100Hz and this is the screen that I do most of my work on. I also do my other gaming on this screen. Granted, I don't do as much normal gaming now as I used to do because a lot of my time is taken up with the YouTube stuff. But that screen is absolutely fantastic. I did have the Alienware ultra-wide monitor, which was 3440 by 1440. However, I just didn't think it brought anything extra to the table. So I sold the Alienware and I bought the LG OLED 42-inch. Now on the desk, there's also the Master Chief. He's holding the Xbox One controller. That's what I use when I'm doing my other gaming. And I also have a microphone. This I use to voice over videos when I've not been able to voice them at the time. And obviously if I'm doing, say, a tutorial video or speaking about a trailer or some downloadable content that's due, you don't need to see me in the rig. So I'll just do a voiceover with some footage in the background. And this is the microphone that I use. I think it's called the Fee-Fine microphone. It was relatively cheap. I think it was around about £60 with the arm. And it works absolutely brilliantly, so I've no qualms with this microphone. In terms of my headphones, I use the HyperX Cloud 2, the wireless versions. Now when I first started the channel I had the wired versions, however it looked a bit rubbish on the screen having the wire coming out and heading towards the computer, so I decided that needed tidying up. So I bought the wireless version of the HyperX Cloud 2s. They're absolutely brilliant headphones, the sound's awesome, they're really comfortable, they very rarely need charging, so that's what I use, they're absolutely brilliant. And then behind me we have a little set of IKEA cubes which I use to store steering wheels when I'm not using them. They've also got my little bits of Lego on there, which is the Nigel Mansell Lego, the Williams, the Ayrton Senna McLaren, and then I've got some stuff on there that my stepchildren got me for being a good stepdad, so I can't really argue with that, that was pretty cool. And then on the walls I have the little outlines of the tracks. If you can get all the tracks, do let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, that's just a little thing that I just thought looked nice on the camera in the background. And we also have the artwork on the wall, which is obviously the Ferrari Formula 1 car of Michael Schumacher. Now I'm a huge Ferrari fan, massive Ferrari fan. Very painful last season, hugely painful. However, I'm hoping for better this season in 2026, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that because I do know what they're like. But I'm a huge Ferrari fan, huge Formula 1 fan in general, so I thought that artwork suited what I wanted and I thought it looked good on the camera. So that's why we bought that artwork. Now the microphone that I use when I'm actually racing, that's a Toner 510 microphone. I think it's called the Toner anyway, but that came with a little arm. Again, the sound quality is brilliant, easy to set up. It's just USB. Can't do anything about my accent, I'm afraid. It is what it is. But in terms of a microphone, again, that is quality. No qualms with it whatsoever. Moving on to the rig itself, now the rig I have is the GT Omega Prime. Now this rig is fantastic. Once again, very few complaints. It's really sturdy, it was really easy to set up, granted I had some experience as it was the second time I'd bought that rig, but it's good quality, it came with all the fixings that you'd need. As I say, super sturdy, super hard, feels like a tank, and I love the fact that it's got an aluminium pedal plate, as that was really easy to set up pedals and to move pedals on and off the rig. Now the seat on the GT Omega rig, that's probably the poorest part of the rig itself. Now I admit that I cheaped out a little bit and I bought the cheapest seat available, but it's due to the fact that at the time of purchase that was the amount of funds I had available to me, so I didn't really have any choice. Now in terms of the seat itself, it does a bit of creaking, and now after extended use I can see a little bit where the stitching's starting to come away on the seat. So I may have to upgrade the seat in the future, but hopefully it's the more distant future rather than the near future, as again, funds are not going to allow for an upgrade to the seat. In terms of accessories for the rig, the only thing that I've got is the keyboard tray, which I thought was quite expensive for what it was, if I'm honest, but it's been pretty decent, and I have it so that it can kind of swing in and swing out so that it can be put away when I'm not using the rig, which gives me a bit of extra space. Now, in terms of the screen that I use when I'm actually sim racing, that's the 48-inch LG OLED C2. Once again, fantastic TV. You know my feelings on OLED by now. Again, I run this at 100Hz so that I'm running my games at 97 to 100 frames per second so that G-Sync can pick up a bit of the slack. It's a fabulous TV, it looks awesome, does everything that I want it to do, and it makes me feel nicely immersed within the racing game that I'm playing at that particular moment in time. Your likes of AC Evo, Le Mans Ultimate, Automobilista 2, they all look absolutely fantastic on this TV. So once again, no complaints with the TV. That's on a GT Omega monitor stand. Once again, really easy to assemble, really sturdy, and once I put it in place, I've never had to touch it again since. Moving on to the hardware that I use to actually race, well, we'll start with the Wheelbase. So it's a Simucube 2 Pro. Now, I got this base second hand, feels like an absolute tank. The deal that I got in relation to this base was really good, I couldn't pass it up, and as I say, I knew it had been looked after, so I was happy to buy it second hand. The software and setup was really easy. The actual detail coming through the force feedback, super quick, super detailed, loads of information coming back to you. It's really, really good. I can only compare it to the Fanatec gear that I had before, so I did have the DD Extreme, and that was a great wheelbase, but the Simucube 2 Pro, it's just a cut above, it's just another level, and I certainly love it. The quick release system is magnificent, really strong, and you can change wheels in an instant. I've just got no complaints whatsoever about the Simucube 2 Pro. Now, most of the time, you'll see me using the Gomez X29 Formula wheel. Fantastic wheel. The shifters on that wheel are better than the shifters in my real car. The buttons are brilliant with really nice clicks to them. The materials are great, it feels super sturdy. I've used it now most days for over 12 months and there is not a mark of wear on that wheel. It's so sturdy, it's unbelievable. It's USB connection, it's really easy to set up, it's compatible with SimHub in relation to all the lighting. It's just a really, really versatile, strong, really easy to use wheel. I would buy another Gomez wheel in a heartbeat, I really would. I think it's brilliant. Now, I did get another wheel before Christmas, once again, bought and paid for by me out of my own money. No deals, no sponsorships, no nothing. And I went for the Conspit Apex round wheel, and I went for it because there was a good deal on trackracer.com, so I got it for about £262. Again, I've only used it really briefly, but it's a really good wheel. So once I've used that wheel a bit more, I am going to do another video just showing it you, telling you what I think of it, and I'm also going to give you my experience with Conspit, as the wheel did turn up faulty, which was a bit of a shame. But luckily now it's working, so once I've given it a bit of time, I'm going to come back with that video and tell you what it's like. I bought the round wheel for Assetto Corsa Evo, and because I want to try Assetto Corsa Rally at some point. But once again, I need to buy a handbrake and a shifter, and I just don't have the funds for that at this moment in time. But in the future, when I have got the funds, I'll pick up a shifter, I'll pick up a handbrake, and we'll get to see what Assetto Corsa Rally's like. Now, in terms of the pedals, the pedals are the one thing in this room that I haven't bought with my own money. Now, I did have the SimGrade VX Pro pedals, absolutely fantastic pedals. I used those pedals with the SimMagic haptics and I had no complaints with those pedals whatsoever, they were fantastic. They are now stored behind the rig as spares should anything happen to the pedals that I'm currently using. So the pedals that I'm currently using are the SimLab XP1 pedals. Now these pedals, they were provided by SimLab. They contacted me and they asked me would I like to use those pedals. So there was no obligation to do a review, no sponsorship deal or anything like that. They just asked me to use the pedals and see what they were like. So I thought, yeah, fine, no problem. So they sent me the pedals, they arrived, I got them set up dead easy. The software was good, the setup was good, the pedals themselves, the build quality is out of this world, they're really good, and they look really nice on the rig, I'm sure you can agree. And those are the pedals that I've been using day in, day out since they arrived. Now I'll admit that when I first got them I thought I'd probably try them for a bit and then put the VX Pros back on. However, I've no intention of putting the VX Pros back on. The SimLab pedals are brilliant, it's simple as that. They've got a really good feel, the brake is brilliant. The two-stage braking feel is absolutely brilliant. I do 80% of my braking on the spring and then I do the last 20% on the elastomer. It's absolutely brilliant and I locked up a lot less on Le Mans Ultimate using these pedals than I did with the VX Pros. I just felt that I was able to tweak them that little bit more just to get a feel that I was more happy with. In terms of the software that I used to create these videos, I used DaVinci Resolve. It's free software, I'm self-taught, I found it relatively simple to use, but I am a geek and I have no issue with that whatsoever. But it's really good software, and that's, as I say, the software that I use for every single video you see on this channel. Now, in terms of cameras that I use, the camera that's attached to the rig, that's the 4K Elgato Facecam Pro webcam. Once again, that's the camera I've used in all my videos. It was easy to set up, it was a reasonable price, it's got really good picture quality, so I've no complaints about that whatsoever, and I would recommend that camera. The camera that I'm recording this on right now, it's the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and I purchased this camera last year as I just felt it would add a little bit to the channel in terms of making things look a bit more professional maybe. I just felt that I needed something extra for when I was making videos like this. In terms of the channel and how things are going, well, I've hit 10,000 subscribers. I never thought I would be able to say that, so thank you very much to everybody that subscribed. The channel's going really well, and I'm just going to keep plodding on with me head down and doing what I do. I have a 9-to-5 job and I like the variety that that job provides, so in terms of taking YouTube full time, it's not something that I'm striving to do. Never say never in the future, obviously, because you never know what can happen. However, it's not something that I'm striving for. I'd just like to keep the channel growing as it is and see what happens. In terms of sponsorships and deals with other companies, now some companies have contacted me and offered to send me other bits of hardware. However, some of those companies, the things that they've asked me to do on receiving those products, I've not been willing to do. My honesty and integrity is a huge thing to me, and it's a huge thing to this channel. I always want to say what I like and what I don't. I want to be free to say those things. So if I'm not free to say if something isn't very good, then I don't really want to have anything to do with those products. Which is the reason that at this moment in time there's only the SimLab products that I've been sent, because so far they've been the only company that's contacted me that was happy for me to say exactly what I wanted. So there you go, that's a quick tour of the Reverend Sim Racing room. I've done what I can with the space. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button, as it would help me out massively. Who knows what might have changed by the time we do this video again in 2027, if we're still here, mind. As always, I've been the Reverend. Thank you very much for watching.